So either you create phenomenon which will indirectly work on the non-conscious process to revise and recalibrate and elevate and eventually liberate the current definitions of the I, current constructs of the I. And though you may continue to use the word I for the other people, you will have a moment of laughter within. Then you will know that the word I is just used also to refer to that, which does not exist there, the way the other people think about it. And other people will not become a problem for you by that time anyway. That is the first liberation you need from the other people. What others will think about me. And of course, most of you do not have it. But be strategic also. I hope all of you understand that. All the time keep it in mind. Because we cannot go back and live in the caves in the forest. Therefore, be strategic. So, look at both the sides, the scale of observation creating the phenomenon and the phenomenon in return creating the scale of observation. Both you try as a as a spiraling phenomenon. It has his scale of observation for the master, for the cook. You know, every detail of the environment was against it. Every detail was against it. I mean, even the background and even the situation was not at all conducive. Not at all. Not even a single variable supporting. So when we want to try the other way around, changing our scale of observation to create phenomenon, there may not be any supporting environment, supporting people. It may look absolutely hopeless, perhaps. But still go on looking through the peeping hole. What do you think the cook could observe? because the absurd phenomenon was displayed not for him. Therefore, most of the time, I don't think it was possible for him to observe the details of what was going on. So, from the tips of the observation, he could see the iceberg of the possible activity. It means referent perception, like from the language, from a word, you go to the referent. From brief descriptions, how Socrates could get complete wisdom. Similarly, by brief moments or movements of the master, he could create the complete possible completeness of that movement. That was his creation. In fact, he created his own art, Naveen, actually speaking.
Yes, sir. Yes.
When the other disciples were trying to imitate the art that was displayed before him, before them, he almost created his own art by the clues of whatever he could observe through the peeping hole. See the beauty. Did you see that?
Yes, sir. Nice.
That freedom we should have, which every student should have. Every student in the school is rigorously insisted to learn only thus in the textbook, of course. Let them do it. They are not ready to, nor their teachers are ready, nor the very textbooks themselves, they don't allow any variation. That's why in the history of the world, all entire range of creations and inventions and discoveries in all domains of creations and inventions were done by relatively uneducated or undereducated people, including the world of spirituality. When millions are meditating uh, through the margins of death in the mountains and the forests of Himalayas, we have only well-known the so-called Satsai Baba and Amardanandamai, two unknown people with unknown backgrounds. See? And some Ramana Maharshi and somebody like that. All with no background. So you should also consciously bring that freedom, unaffected by this, unbiased. Freedom of what? What? Referent perception. Freedom of referent reality perception. Freedom of seeking what is the possible, probable nature of the reference of whatever you already know. Discovery is never with the unknown. It's a mistaken belief for the majority of the people. Discovery always begins with the known. How can you search the unknown? Impossible. How can you think the unknown? Impossible. Nobody can. That's why also I told you sometime back. The close to the totality of the phenomenon that you is. Now you look at the phenomenon that is sitting there. That phenomenon called human creature. With eyes to see, with ears to hear the sound, with that body to feel the environment. That flesh, blood, bone, creature like any other creature in the world. What is it doing there? If that creature is already capable of creating that phenomenon of the you as of now, is that the only possible boundaries? What is limiting it? That creature is completely free. And what is not free? The creature is in its completeness of its whole phenomenon. In which case, why that consciousness is not able to take advantage of it? Why that phenomenon is not automatically providing a unique scale of observation? Or is it providing a scale and which is not sensed? Is there an unconscious rejection of truth? Is there an unconscious anxiety about enlightenment? An unconscious postponement of greater levels of existence? Like during adulthood, I should be like this. During a little bit later, I should be like this. I am in this role position, I am in this economic position, I am in this social status, therefore I should be like this. What is going on? Observation, self-observation, identify. Whatever you can know about great geniuses in the world, whether Buddha or Krishna or Jesus, they are like the tips you can observe, like the cook observed the tips of the movements of the master samurai, and have the creative freedom to interpret it in your way rather than wondering about what it could be with the Buddha. Just do not follow anybody, even me. Of course, I am not giving you any, I am just giving you only methodologies. I am just giving you the beating around the bush. I am just telling you that the scale of observation can create the phenomenon. That's all. I am not telling you what should be the scale. And I am using some available words, that's all. And I talked about referent perception and referent reality perception. And you go beyond if there is anything, go. Don't be biased with anybody and don't be scared about anybody. Of course, you can pretend to be scared with somebody in the social life. Otherwise, you should be absolutely unshakable, like a little child, that's all. And of course, don't worry too much about this. Take it cool. Be cool. Nevertheless, be always cool. Try even the hardest thing very cool. And always be cool. Don't feel anything serious about it either. Be like in the conventional language of creative people, they say they're playful. Be playful with it. Never be that serious. Never be so tight and tough. So, this is the possibility of considering that axiom in fundamental axiom in particle physics is a fundamental axiom in the particle physics of the human entity also. And if you have a scale of observation, it will definitely create a phenomenon. You already have a scale of observation. We discussed about that scale, and our entire program is about that scale, the genius itself. And have observations to uh, support that scale also. The river, both are, it is a double-edged sword. So have that sword of your attention. That is sword. And every day practice with that sword of attention to cut across whatever you want to cut across. Let it be like a smooth like a rose and sharp like a lightning. So be always smooth like a rose. A rose is a rose is a rose. And at the same time, uh, be sure to be a lightning to enlighten other people. All right then. So I think today you have a surprise. Nobody thought the scale of observation creating phenomenon had this level of height, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.